Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier and this is the Piracy Show. Now, today I want to talk about the reputation system. Memes and jokes aside, we're not just getting mining in 3.13. We're not just getting a new mining vehicle, but we are also getting the visual representation of the reputation system. I had to say that slowly because sometimes I was saying reputation instead of representation, so... But I got it out, so there we go. That's half the battle. But one of the great things about a lot of MMOs, when it's done right, are reputation systems. Because reputation systems, they can give you something that just straight up money, either in the real world or money in game, can't buy, and that is, it can tell a story about your character or about your ship. Now, many of you have probably done these missions before. You've seen these missions. This is the law-abiding side of this mission where it's, destroy the satellites that are, skimming data from the comm array satellites, and eventually NPC pirates show up in this, the law-abiding version. And, you basically fight with them as you're trying to destroy all the satellites. Now, one of the unique things about this is that depending on what pirates you're dealing with, they will have different color schemes to their ships. And once again, if you're doing the pirate side of this thing, depending on what security forces you're dealing with, you're going to see their kind of color schemes and representations depending on which security force that they are. Now, color schemes are fine, and they're kind of like an entry-level cosmetic thing that, we can buy on the store right now. Let's say you go to Olisar, you see a whole bunch of Cutlass Blacks parked there. You see the ghoulish green one or the, emerald green for St. Patrick's Day one. Oh yeah, that guy bought that skin. But, buying a skin isn't really all that much of an achievement. But what if behind the reputation we did a little something extra? Instead of just going for the color scheme, what if we let you take the ship? Now, of course, this is dependent on other gameplay mechanics coming into the game. But let's say that you and your buddies, you all get together and you run into, I believe this, or right after this, we are going to see a NPC pirate caterpillar. So let's say you're a bunch of bounty hunters. You're working on the legal side of Star Citizen. But, you're out, you're fighting, you're doing these missions, and then all of a sudden, the pirate caterpillar shows up and starts attacking you, as it's about to in this video. Now all of a sudden you have an opportunity. If you're organized, if you're careful, you can not only just blow the ship up, but instead you can disable it and then commandeer it. And because you've gotten to a certain reputation level with the local authorities, maybe they let you impound and keep the ship. So the ship is now your property. So when people go to Port Olisar and they see a whole bunch of caterpillars lined up on the landing pads or wherever, yeah, you see a few of the Kovalex caterpillars, maybe see one or two pirate caterpillars. But, the next level of, getting the pirate caterpillar, which was through gameplay, is now you're going to capture an actual pirate caterpillar like the Ninetales one or whatever pirate faction this happens to represent. You're going to be able to capture that and bring that to a landing pad. So when people go out and they see your ship out there on the landing pads, and here it is, they're going to know that the only way to get this caterpillar is, one, you have got to have worked your way up with the bounty hunters to reach a certain point where you can impound ships. And then you successfully got a bunch of people together, or even maybe you did it yourself. You're an Uber Chad in the game. You're kicking ass, and you captured this yourself. And now you're flying around in, we'll call it the Ninetales caterpillar, and that's like an ultra rare thing. That's an achievement. That tells a story about you as a player, having this caterpillar. Maybe, the colors aren't exactly yours, but you love flying around in this thing because people see that and they go, oh shit, you know what this guy did? He went and got and captured a pirate caterpillar. Or maybe on the other side of things, as a criminal, you're out and you're doing the mission where you're destroying the lawful skimmers that are trying to scan Grim Hex, and all of a sudden a Crusader security Cutlass Blue shows up, and instead of destroying it, you disable it and you capture it. And because you've achieved a certain reputation with the local pirate factions, or maybe with Rudo, he's able to go in and kind of erase the VIN numbers, replace the transponder and all of that. So everyone's going to see you riding around in a cop car, essentially, that you stole. And they're going to be like, yo, that dude is pretty serious. He's all about it. And when you think about seeing a whole bunch of ships lined up at landing pads in the game, everyone's got the Cutlass Black. Anyone can buy the ghoulish green or the emerald green or whatever. But this, like, the original Pirate Caterpillar, this is something that stands out. This is something that you did in the game. And I think that, we can make it so that you can unlock maybe some cool cosmetics or, different armor sets through reputation. But I think, opening up options with gameplay to allow us to acquire ships that maybe would not be available to us, because if you've got crime stat, obviously Crusader Security isn't going to be selling you any surplus, equipment, or vice versa. If you're a bounty hunter, maybe the pirates aren't like, oh, you need a ship? Yeah, we can help you out for a few bucks. But having that thing, next to you, or having that ship, as your possession in the game, that would be pretty sweet. And even if you had to pay some kind of nominal insurance fee because it doesn't have LTI, oh no, that would still be cool, because it would be like a symbol of prestige. And one of the things when I'm playing WoW, like, one of the things that I like about my character is the fact that there are all these little items attached to that character that's signify different eras in the game's history, that people in the know can look at and say, oh, this person did the Mage Tower, oh, this person did that whole long quest to unlock the crab mount and all this stuff. It's things like that I love to see in MMOs. Oftentimes these systems are misused to grant people access to player power, and I'm going to do a whole separate video on that, because there is a proper way to implement player power through reputations that doesn't negatively impact gameplay for the wider audience. But once again, we'll get into that in the next video. But attaching things like this to it, these kind of not power but prestige items, that allows players to kind of differentiate themselves from the other players around them, and at the same time tell a story about themselves. And I think that that's cool. I mean, we've cracked a lot of jokes about a Miss Freelancer over the years, because it's not a particularly attractive ship, but someone who has the pirate Miss Freelancer, it kind of says something about you as a player and about your quality as a player. And I think that through the reputation system, the easy entry level thing to do is cosmetics and armor sets and guns. That's so bland and normal that it's the thing that we would automatically say, well, this is what they're going to do with that system. But I'd like to see them go a little bit further. I really, really would. I would like to see them, attach certain things that if you go that extra mile as a player, if you kind of go for that extra, that you take on that extra bit of struggle, then you get this payout. It doesn't have to be, a Miss Freelancer plus 90% shields or anything like that. But this is something that CIG wouldn't have to worry about rebalancing. It would work just the same as any other Freelancer or any other ship. But at the same time, it could be something that players could acquire and carry with them through the game's development, that says, hey, you know, not only was I playing during this era, but I was able to pull off some really cool stuff. You know, we're always worried about when's the next wipe. When's the next wipe? When are they going to, you know, reset all my reputations to 0? When are they going to take away my crime stat? When are they going to take away my money? But these are things that you can give players access to right now that are pretty much static and permanent in the game. And you can say, once you've kind of crossed this line and you've earned this thing, we don't have to worry about it being rebalanced because it's got the same stats as, you know, the other things just like it in the game. So it's going to be as good as the rest of them. But it's something that you can acquire that says something about you as a player. And I think that that is a really good direction for reputation rewards to head in.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.